Morning, boys. I'm going to play you the meeting that we went to, or the meeting that I went to on May 3rd.
The time now is 4:11 on May 3rd, 2024. I would like to call for a special meeting. Meeting called to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Nguyen,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Ho, Council.
She is. I got a call from her just now. She is on her way. Her car broke down, and she said she'll be here in 5 or 10 minutes.
Perfect. Councilwoman Fan West. Yes. Councilmember Monzo.
Here.
And Councilmember Nguyen.
I'm here.
Thank you. We have quorum, right? All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just before we go into the meeting, I just want to let you know that there was an issue subject to be discussed today that came up a few days ago regarding to the supervisor in the Los Angeles. The subject is going to be discussed, but I just want to let you know that the reason for the special meeting was the matter is very sensitive to the Vietnamese community, and if we wait until the next meeting, which is on May 8th, which is not going to happen, because our policy is that we need to have the item in the agenda on the 25th, which is not going to happen for the next meeting, which for the May 5th. So if we wait until the next meeting, it's even further away. And so that was the reason why
it really
this
doesn't.
meeting
So
has
to
been
me, the
called
meeting
as
was a
special
setup.
meeting.
The
And
meeting
so,
was
now I would like
to
to
see
open
who was
for
gonna
oral
do something.
communication.
To me.
And this oral communication for the agendized item only, please. There is no, I understand that what you want, but there is no, I don't know why we don't have
So
the
the flag.
Yeah, for special meeting, for special meetings, we don't have the separate public comment, if that's what you're talking about.
How many times have they done special meetings, and every time they act stupid?
Yeah, the agenda does not have the pledge. So
Why didn't we have that? So,
I have.
with that, I will modify the agendas a little bit. So why don't we all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance? Can you lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance, Councilmember Menzo?
Thank you, Mayor. Ready? Begin.
You hear my bills?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's kind of weird seeing it
Thank you,
from that side.
Councilmember Menzo. And again, just want to Vice
So my
Mayor,
offsprings, I'm going to show you what the people of Westminster, how they treat other people,
and I would like
what
to
I've
open
been
the
dealing
floor
with.
oral communication. Before I do that, I just want to let you know that when this issue arise, there are a number of concerns from the council here, and they really, it's kind of urgent.
That
for them
those
to discuss
people,
about this
everybody up there,
issue.
it should be a
And I
non-paid.
mentioned
It should
that
be
we can't
voluntary.
wait.
Voluntary.
And also
No one
include
should
that,
be getting paid for this.
Councilmember West also want to have a special meeting, but for council to call a special meeting, it's not going to happen unless they have three, and they can't
What
communicate.
I
with
got
the
from
and with
the Greek
mayor,
mythology
duties,
was,
I can call for
in
a
the
special
Egyptian,
meeting. So that's why we have a special meeting today. And now I would like to open the oral communication, and I want to remind you that
was
this is a special meeting, so we are only
take care of
talking
the
on the
people,
subject matter,
and the
which is the
people take care of
resolution
you.
denouncing the designation of April 30th as Jane Fonda Day by the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, and request for immediate resistance. Right now, let me open the oral communication, but I ask that the city clerk, city manager, can you go ahead and read the instruction into the record, please?
Thank you. This is the time of the meeting that members of the public may address the City Council regarding items on the agenda. Unless otherwise extended by a majority vote of the City
There's
Council,
only one
comments shall be
person at the
limited to
city
3
meeting
minutes
that
per speaker.
I
Any
would,
person wishing to
I
address
always look forward
the
to
City
seeing.
Council in person should complete a green speaker slip that is provided at the entrance of the council chambers and submit the card to the city clerk or city manager today.
She
When your
told me
name is
she's only
called,
been
please step to
in
the
the
podium at that
United
time
States
and
for
state your
14
name and
years.
city of residence for the
What, she said
record.
14 years. I'm like, only 14 years?
Thank you. Have we have any?
And she's
sign
going
up
to the
for,
meetings?
to speak today?
We
Yeah.
do. We do. We probably have about 15 cards right now.
Go ahead and call for the first speaker.
Yes, sir. First speaker is Michael Vrancia.
While he's come to the podium, I would like to welcome now our former city mayor, Mayor Trita, now Assembly, State Assembly Trita. Thank you.
Is he here?
Please.
Oh, I'm so
To
sorry.
me,
I
I'll tell you
didn't
what.
see you. Yeah, he had signed up. I didn't see him. So sorry. Okay.
All right.
now listen to this guy. This guy's a piece of work. This guy's a piece of shit.
Couple things here. First of all,
Children, I hope you're
Jane
watching,
Fonda
okay?
is not one of my favorite people for obvious reasons. Anybody that served in the military
Her
during
best
that
friend in the
time
background, too. They're twins.
essentially considers her and her former husband, thankfully he's not here, Tom Hayden. They're both traitors.
That's sad. When I heard that, I'm like, oh gosh.
Having called this meeting,
Here I go.
you could have done the very same thing by having the mayor draft a letter on behalf of the entire council. Our legislative representative is here. He could have done a letter. We could have had Janet Nguyen do a letter. And all of the Vietnamese politicians do the very same thing. Vietnamese organizations, their military organizations, civic organizations.
Where's the
And
money
send it
coming
up to the
from?
people in Los Angeles who obviously don't have brain one in their skulls to pick April 30th to honor Jane Fonda because of her climate change activism. That doesn't erase what she
news
did.
is he watching? What TV is he
And
watching?
not
That's
only
that's
did
the
she go
that's the
over
most
there,
important thing.
She caused
Where's he getting his information?
American POWs to be beaten and tortured when they tried to give a message to her and Tom Hayden to get back to the States to advise who was being held captive. The two of them promptly turned it over to the communist troops,
My
which meant
offspring.
that those American POWs that
this-
they were able
this
to
gentleman
identify
that's
were
talking,
beaten and tortured.
He has no
this
idea
woman
what he's
doesn't
talking
deserve
about.
attention,
He's just getting
period.
some old information
But
from
this
hearsay.
meeting
He's stuck in
really
Hollywood's
shouldn't have had to
bullshit
take
that
place.
Hollywood
And
created.
as I said, you could have
Hollywood
drafted a
does
very
this
nice
to
letter
people, to
demanding
celebrities.
that they
They use
change
celebrities for money
and
because war equals money.
directing them to at least have
We
some
never needed
consideration
war. We never needed to go
for
to
the
Vietnam.
Vietnamese
There's
people
no
that
reason
now
why we
live in
needed
this
to go to
country,
Vietnam.
and
The only
specifically
reason why
here
we
in
went to
Southern
Vietnam is so we
California,
can do genocide. That's the only
who
reason why, so we can
remember
take
this. Well,
over.
you guys
The
were a
United
little bit
States should
older.
have
She
never,
wasn't
never
even
been
born
involved.
yet.
It wasn't
you
the
would have
United States'
remembered that time, and it's not
jurisdiction
something
to
that
go.
you really
In the
want to
United
revisit
States,
for all the things that your families, your
we should be
grandparents went
only
through at that time, and you yourselves may have gone through.
our army, our military should never
But
be in somewhere
I
else.
think
It
it's
should be
kind of
only on our
a
land.
waste of
But since I
time
don't
and
believe in the
everybody's
military,
effort.
I'm just telling you what is supposed to
Get all
happen.
the Vietnamese
The U.S. military
politicians
is
together,
supposed
the
to only
civic
stay on our
groups,
land.
the military groups,
To defend
everybody
it.
draft
Why are we going into another area, another
correspondence and send
country
it up to the
with our
morons up
military?
in
It
Los
doesn't make
Angeles
sense.
to that
How
board
come
of
our military is not here to
supervisors.
protect
And I'm
us?
not even going to
Our
go on
military
from there
failed.
because I can't
This
stand it
gentleman
anyway.
failed.
Thank you very much for your
Man.
time.
Thank you.
His generation failed my
Assemblyman
generation.
Trita.
They also failed your
Apologize
generation,
for
my
that.
kids. My grandkids, he failed my grandkids' generation.
Good afternoon,
I'm
the Honorable
trying to fix
Mayor
what
and
this
member
fucker
of the City
has.
Council. I am
Cancer.
Assemblyman
He's cancer.
Trita.
He
First,
spreads
I would like
cancer.
to
That's what
thank
it is.
the Mayor and the City Council for calling this special meeting. I really, really appreciate your leadership and dedication.
And him.
I read the staff report.
When I've gone
and
to
I
meetings
honestly want to
before,
thank- I want want to thank
He's
our
sitting
city
in the back
manager
and no one's talking to him.
for doing her research.
He's just on his phone.
issue.
No one wants to talk to
2 days
anybody.
ago,
The residents,
you're
all
aware
this
that I
council
issued
members,
my
they don't want to
press
talk unless you have
release
something.
to
Amy West would always
call
go to
Los
me
Angeles
because I would dress
supervisor
up really
to
nice.
rescind their proclamation
I would dress
that is April
like
30th
if I'm
to
running.
honor pro-communist Hanoi.
And a lot of people, and whatever I would post, they would be on me. Oh, why don't you run? I'll vote for you. I'll vote for you. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I knew that they would treat me
I
like
want to
an
recognize the
alien.
city of Westminster for standing with the community by organizing the annual
This guy,
Black April commemoration. The Black
He's-
April is a sad day for the Vietnamese American
he's
community
a part of the slap houses.
and the Vietnamese overseas. And on that day, we always honor the
They
sacrifices
drink heavily.
of
Heavily they
58,000
drink.
American soldiers
And
and more
then
than
they
250,000
take it at Blessed Sacrament.
South Vietnam
Heineken's. They're really big on the
soldier
Heineken
who fought
bottles.
side by side during the
With the
Vietnam
bars.
War.
At the churches.
Like I said,
But
in the Black April
across the street there's a bar.
commemoration
So it's
last year,
like
we lost Saigon,
drinking,
but we
the
didn't lose our
alcohol,
fighting spirit.
gambling, sex,
And this
and lies.
issue, I believe,
That's that. That's
will
trauma.
bring
That's
all
war. That's
of
an
us
aftermath of
together.
war. You come here.
this issue
We were already in
unite
war.
us.
Native Americans, indigenous
believe
people
the
were
city of
already
Westminster will
fighting
stand with the
with
community.
America.
to send the
So the
resolution to
Vietnamese,
be now
you're sending
action.
refugees. People are coming here
The Los
to
Angeles
get
Home
help
Supervisor
when
and
Native
request
Americans that were
to
already
rescind
here
that
fighting to
proclamation.
be heard,
And I-
to be
and I
recognized,
respectfully ask
to
the I
use
vote
their beliefs
on
and
your
heritage.
proposed
We didn't have a
resolution.
God. We didn't have
Thank
a
you.
Jesus.
Next speaker is Howie Tu.
What's the name again?
Howie.
And when I would be volunteering, when I was a president of the PTA Anderson,
afternoon.
when they have a meeting at
Good
school
afternoon.
district, they have a
I am
meeting
Howie Tu.
here, same day, same time.
Assemblyman Trita,
There was no way for
Vietnam
me to go
Human
to
Right
two
Liaison.
places at once.
However,
So I
today
told
I am
Warren,
here
can
at
help
the
me.
Westminster
Then,
resident
what
to
was
express
tricky,
my disbelief
I started the Who,
at the
like
Los
started
Angeles
taking
County
pictures of the
Board
city and started
of
posting it up.
Supervisor
The
Jane
residents
Fonda
didn't like it.
represent at that
Um,
chapter
And
in
I got involved more in the
American
city with that.
history. Although she
Then
may have been young
I
and
blew a whistle on that, like,
impressionable,
I'm trying to go to
she
the city
served
meetings, but I
as a
can't because I'm
communist
stuck at the school
mouthpiece
district meetings.
for the North
Therefore,
Vietnamese,
whatever I do
evil
at the city,
regime,
at that school meeting, I can't really be
choosing to
involved
honor her on April
in the
30
city. It wouldn't
were
let
a
me. They
horrible
wouldn't let me. They
decision.
would do it so
The
hard.
Los
They would make
Angeles
it.
County
They would make
Board
that
of
position
Supervisors
harder for me
is
to get information.
incredibly out of touch and totally abandoned the Vietnamese
I'm like, why
as
is the
well
city
as
meeting and the school
American
district meeting on the
service
same
members
day, same
that
time?
lost their life
That's
fighting
not fair
in freedom
to
overseas
parents at all. It's not fair because parents need to know what's going on in their city
and reopen the wound
that their
of
school
war.
that the kids are going
I
to.
thank to the city
I
of
will ne-
Westminster for taking this issue
I know my
on
kids
and
are in
sending
Westminster
a message
and
to Los
Vegas.
Angeles
I'm not
County
allowed to talk to them
that their decision will
because
real
of
consequence for Vietnamese American.
the pedophiles that are in my family. They're hiding because of people like this. It's all for money.
Next speaker is Ronald Geyer.
What am I gonna say? I'm walking around in a homeless talks to me all the time. I have it on film.
Oh,
He won't
if you
leave me
could go
alone.
to the other mic.
If a
the one
teenager, a
there
young
you go.
child, a teenager,
The tall
Thank
they
one.
don't care. They will not leave you alone.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's much better. Now I can hear myself.
They will not take no for an answer.
As well.
They will not take no for an answer. These people who do
I'm a
drugs
veteran of the
in the
first major
streets,
battles of the
they
Vietnam
see a young
War.
teenager, they will not take no for an
The
answer.
movie We Were Soldiers, Mel Gibson played Hal Moore,
We don't need that.
and I was a ready-man driver orderly to him directly.
I saw
I
what I
got
saw
to
in
see
West
everything
Minnesota. I didn't
directly in
like
the
it.
first major battle of the Vietnam War.
It's too close to
And I got to
school,
see
too
what it's really
close.
like to have people out there
We don't
against us
need
who love
that.
to
We
kill.
don't. Children don't need to see
I say
that.
that again.
I don't need
They
to see
love
that.
it. They absolutely love it.
This traitor, this
People that are
motherfucker is a
against the free
traitor.
people.
He's
Hating
wearing
the free
that,
for
and it's a
being
disgrace
free.
to me. It's a
That's what
disgrace
I
to my
witnessed
people.
Firsthand. You have just made a move that is timely and the right move. It is tremendous because finally, after 50 plus years,
Never
with
needed
Jane
war.
Fonda getting her way on television, all of us in this country and the world got to see law enforcement taking over people who are lawless at UCLA. Very, very timely. It's perfect.
The universities and the schools, the teachers are
what you
involved
want
because the
to do.
teachers are not teaching history. That's
As
why
far
it
as we
was
veterans are
happening.
concerned, we've had to live with her negativity, and I call it hate. Direct personal hate, because everything we did was wrong for her.
It was wrong.
And we were doing everything right, because the one thing the love itself
Brainwash.
needs more in this world, for God's
How is
love,
killing
is more
people?
love.
Oh, God,
and
see?
that only comes when people are free. What is our job as soldiers or Marines, whatever?
Why? Tell me why. You guys can't tell me why.
Protect
I don't
those
like-
that are
I don't
free.
like the military.
Bring more freedom to the world. For the one thing the love itself needs more from this world is more love, and that only comes when people are free. And so the people that are godless, who love to kill, act that way. Act that way. And now you have your moment with Jane Fonda. You've got it. You're right there, because it's not only
It
veterans.
says that my dad
People have been
lied
just
to
on
right now.
television over 50 plus years by Jane Fonda. She's saying that she's just about ready to die because she has cancer, but she's blaming her cancer on our driving a car. In other words, the environment's killing her. Okay. Negative lie. Okay. Never
And my
heard that
sister's
before.
a cancer,
Okay.
and she's killing me.
She hasn't changed. Now
This
it's time
city
to
is a cancer.
get her. Throw it in her face, like the LAPD did at UCLA at 3 o'clock in the morning, bringing real concrete
I hope, like,
justice. Thank you.
I don't want to be famous. I just want to do my
Next
kid.
speaker is
But I
Tammy
hope
Hamill.
she sees these people, and I hope that she just rips them a new one. I hope. I'm like, my ancestors,
Tammy Hamill,
like,
Westminster resident.
she's a woman.
First, I'll say I agree with everything Michael Varengia said.
What Jane Fonda's doing,
Fonda's garbage.
I'm doing the
Having
same
a dad who was a
thing.
veteran, a Vietnam veteran, I grew up knowing
These
what
people
she
want
did.
me to get
That's
cancer.
the
Well,
same
voila,
information
I'm
I
dying
was heard.
anyways.
I know she put people's lives in danger.
It
She
looks
got
like
people
either me or
tortured.
you gonna go
She's
first.
garbage.
Doesn't matter.
I don't agree. I don't know why
I'll
they
see
did
you on
this.
the other side.
Probably stupid move, especially around this time, because with all the dates flying around, I
I
understand what
miss
that
you
means.
boys. And these people, you can tell.
this
That's
has
why
nothing to
I
do
was
with
being
Westminster.
told that these are the same people.
This special meeting did not need to be called.
It did.
I
it
also
did.
agree with what he said about how it could have been handled. If you
I'm
could do
glad I
a
went to
special
the
meeting and have this written up so quickly, you could have gotten it on next week's agenda. It was done in what, a couple days? You could have had it on next week's agenda.
to the city of
There's
LA.
no reason the special meeting needs to be called. And I'll also say,
I think of
there
Alanis
are things that have
Morissette,
happened with
I think
people
of,
on this council that have not been addressed. That
The
I feel is
LAPD
dangerous
in
language that's
LA.
used, that happens in Westminster. I recall in 2019, there was a resolution written because community activists were involved in the recall.
When I was little,
And
going
you
to
all
LA
called
was
them
so pretty.
that they were
To
working
me,
for the
all
Hanoi regime.
buildings, and just like
You think that
imagining
wasn't
what
dangerous?
it used to look like. Seeing
language he uses,
pictures,
the language
black and
she
white
uses.
pictures. And my uncle was a
You
photographer,
never
so
call
I
any
saw a
of
lot
that
of
out.
things. So,
But this, which has nothing to do with
things that-
Westminster specifically, it
I'm
was something
seeing
LA County
that,
did.
That's the weird part is that
And like you said,
I was
all those
when
things
he
could have
took
been written
pictures,
up.
When I got older, I realized what he was doing.
That
like,
all gets ignored. But you
he
call a
has
special
amazing,
meeting
like,
using our city resources, probably
I
stressing
know,
out
but
staff to get it
his,
done so
his
quickly.
viewpoint is very
But
interesting.
nothing that happens with this council,
So
like
I
that has
tried
been
to do
addressed.
something like that, but I couldn't really
why not?
get it. And I was asking my grandma because my grandma
Dangerous
was
language
a
is dangerous
photographer too.
language. They've
And
used
she
it,
was helping me.
saying that residents were working for the Hanoi regime just because they were
you
doing
get
a
an angle
recall.
that you feel
That's dangerous
use your
language,
heart
correct?
to do that. So that's what I do now.
That has never
But
been
before, it was
addressed.
always hard taking pictures because I'm like,
That
how
resolution
come
has
this
never
picture
been
don't look? It just looks
called
like a
back
crappy
to say,
picture.
maybe
But
we
when my
made a
uncle
mistake,
takes
maybe
it,
we shouldn't
it
have done
looks
that.
so pretty. It just
Where's
looks.
that?
It's the same picture of a
That
water
actually
bottle, but the way
affected Westminster residents.
the way he moved
Because
the
of the
angle
language
of the
that was
camera
used.
was just
I was
like,
also
I want to do
reminded
that.
there were other certificates given to people
I had no
in
idea when I was little that
Vietnam
that
by,
was
I
like.
believe,
It's
you,
also
Charlie,
a gift,
and
but
the
it's also
previous mayor, that people questioned what their
channeling.
involvement was as
and
far
the
as being
spirits,
involved with the
the
Communist Party
ancestors,
over
they
there.
love
So
a good shot.
that's never been
They love a good view.
called
So
back to question that, see if that was
if you
maybe the
work
wrong
with them,
thing
they'll
to
give
do.
you that good shot.
None of that has been addressed.
Next speaker is John Baker.
So I have this, and I got this at the courthouse, and they won't help me. These
My name
numbers
is John
that I
Baker.
call, they
I've
won't
lived
help
in
me.
Orange County for about 30 years. Before that, I was living in the jungles of Vietnam outside of Da Nang in Chu Lai and West Away City. I lived in the jungle, ate cold sea rats. I was in a reconnaissance unit that
The ways
spied on
with
the
your
bad
family
guys,
violence?
the communists, and tried to get information
And the
back to the
sexual
main
assault
units
victims?
and try to get a prisoner whenever we could. But I'm not here to talk about that. I went to we got out of the bush. We got to take showers for the first time, and we got to go to
These
a
numbers, because
Christmas
then I call that
presentation by
number,
Bob
and then they're
Hope.
like, oh, well, we can't help you,
Ann
but here's
Margaret was
another
there with some
number.
other
So then
hot
I'll
babes,
call
and
that
we thought it
number,
was the
and they're
greatest
like,
thing
oh,
ever.
no, we can't help you,
We
but here's
thought
another
America was
number.
really behind us. 2 weeks later, I get a
Suicide hotline,
newspaper
don't,
with a big
don't
pictorial
help.
in it.
I just call
And
them
guess
to be
who's
like,
on
I
the
hate you
pictorial?
guys even more.
Jane Fonda.
The Hollywood Traitor. And we were stunned, we were shocked and so disgusted that we're out in the woods
And I don't know
guys
how
are
this guy
dying
is letting,
and,
he's like,
and fighting with the
he's like
Vietnamese, the Kit Carson scouts we used, and going way out in the jungles
he's
and coming
doing
back to that. A month later after that, I get a message from home, and usually the mail was late and the papers were late getting to us, but this was a giant picture of a 50 caliber machine gun, dual 50 caliber machine gun called a Ma Deuce. Most of you veterans know what I'm talking about. And guess who's sitting in the gun turret with a pith helmet on,
watch, listen to
with
him
a
when he
star
says-
in the middle of the pith helmet?
Hanoi Jane.
The Hollywood Traitor. And to show you how emotional it was for many of us when we started to rotate home, we were all sitting around drinking beer one night, and we were getting fired up, especially about the sweetheart
they're
there.
drinking alcohol.
And we had a top 10 list that if we got a terminal illness when we got back to the United States, we were going to take a few with us.
What does that
Huey
mean?
Newton of the Black Panthers, Angela Davis of the Black Panthers, Mark Rudd from the Students for a More Democratic Society, and all these big, protests going on back then. It was amazing to us that Jane Fonda was right in the middle of a lot of it. So, have I seen a Jane Fonda movie in the last 40 years? No. Will I ever buy one of her CDs or DVDs or anything like that? Not only no, but hell no. And I'll go to LA with the rest of you and we'll talk about this. And this is so great to see a city council like this and 34 people here tonight. This is the American way to make things happen and make changes. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Tony Bowie.
Teachers are just overpaid daycare workers. Teachers are slowly taking the rights away from parents, then blaming the parents who are fighting back about the abuse in school.
Good
Teachers are
afternoon,
bullies too.
Mayor,
Teachers
Vice
create
Mayor,
bullies to have
City Council
control in
members,
school. It's a
and
petting
all
zoo.
staff of the
Children
City
see
of
their
Westminster.
teacher more than they do their own parents. This government
come
was
here,
never meant for
and
families.
first of all,
We are
I would
experiencing
like
one of the
to
most epic events in history. We
appreciate
need the truth. The city of Westminster
the
is silencing
mayor
my
and
voice.
all
I will
of
not
you
back down.
who
I will
has
keep
made
showing the
this
world.
meeting come
TLC.
true. At the right time, right place for all of us to come here to express ourselves toward the decision of the Los Angeles Board of Supervisor. I thought their decision was totally
To me, Santa Ana is like a mini
Stupidity has made them to decide that the April 30 is the
I
Jane
never
Fonda
realized how
Day.
much
We
I
should
walked
call
in
it Jane
Santa
Fonda
Ana.
tainted blood of U.S. soldiers and of innocent people's days.
Wait, Dad,
That
what the
Jane
hell are you
Fonda
doing all the way over here?
tainted day. So today I recommend
Dad, I
all of
just used to
you
go over here
to
all the time.
put the effort to take away that proclamation of the city of Los
I
Angeles.
already read that one already.
Because of what? Because they have doing that for political purpose.
So what
And
Britney
also
Spears
they
was
try
doing,
to step on the death of
it was like 3 years ago.
U.S. soldiers
I
and
believe it's going to be
millions
4 years.
of
I'm going to say a
innocent
good solid
people
4 years.
who has tried to fight
She was like doing the
freedom
emoji
and
stuff
lost their life
online, like
in the
the
ocean,
emoji things.
in the jungle.
So I'm like, I liked how
So
she
together
did the
we should
emojis.
cite
So I'm like,
the
I'm gonna use
proclamation
more emojis. So
as
then,
a Black Friday
to make it look
for
more fun,
all
I
the
guess.
people to commemorate
So that's what I
the
did.
death
So
of soldiers
this is
who
how
have
it was
sacrificed
before,
for freedom,
and then I'll just
democracy,
add, I'll add that, and I'll do something
integrity
online.
for
So whatever
all
I
of
did
us.
here, I did it
So
online.
today, I would like to send a message to the Los Angeles Board of Supervisors who had failed to maintain Los Angeles as a safe place for its own residents. Los Angeles is going down the drain and fit to be Lost Angeles. They lost the Angelos. They are no longer Angeles. They lost it all because of failed policies and also because of the corrupted mind control the board supervisor. So nowadays we see Los Angeles has a lot of crime, a lot of illegal immigrants.
They did the bike path.
We have to make the distance
Silver
between
bike path, or
legal immigrants
they got a
and
grant. Like, I think it
legal
was
immigrants
2.8 or
who
2.3
don't care
million.
about the growth of our
A grant to
USA.
fix up.
So today, I would
None of the
like
money
to
went to
all
where
of
it was
you
supposed to go.
in the future have support to make our city of Westminster growth and safe for all people. Thank you very much.
I met him. I talked to him before. He was pretty nice.
Next speaker is Ms. Tina Tapia. Hauka. My name is Tina, and I'm a Native American from San Pasqual Band of Mission Indians.
Oh, and I ruined
Today,
her quote.
to Jane, it's been a wonderful experience getting to know my ancestors in this difficult time. They have told me such wonderful things that you have done for my people. I'm here to show and tell you that your hard work and courage that you showed in your protesting will show the next generation how wrong people in the government were. The children must know. To me, you are what women stand for, freedom. You had this Hollywood platform and you used it to make an impact to educate people on what is happening in America. Sadly, the mistreatment of indigenous people in America is still continuing today, with no mention of Native American teaching in our schools. Jane have worked hard on behalf of Native Americans and the Black Panthers in the 1960s. Fonda dove into protesting the Vietnam War, first with the formation of the Free Army Tour, FTA, with actor Donald Sutherland in 1970. I quote
That's
Jane,
what I got.
"It's
Free.
been the same throughout history," she said. It takes people power. It takes strength in numbers. Right now, it's going to take unpredictable numbers of people who have risen up to organize to pressure the government to do what is right. Unquote. And I agree. We never needed war, and we don't need guns. We need to heal. We are fighting against each other all for money. Money is fake. We can't take money in the afterlife. And for Jane, I thank you for sharing your experience and your knowledge with us and making the world a better place. I agree with the city of LA to dedicate April 30th as Jane Fonda Day. I hope this day will educate more people on where they stand on American land. May 3rd is an Indian Flower Day, which is an old tradition among the local tribes here in Southern California. On this day, many local reservations dedicate their ceremonies with flowers and replace the old crosses in this time when blooming flowers and plants are the strongest. May your 3rd of May bring your flowers that you deserve. Congratulations, Jane, and I thank you for understanding my ancestors. Paying our respects to the children who lost their lives and never returned home to their families. We are Kumeyays, and we are the forgotten Native Americans here. I'm taking the time to show my boys who we are and how far our ancestors have gotten us here today, and we thank them today for the rest of our lives. School doesn't teach the importance of our history, and that needs to change. How brave these young children must have been to be taken away from their families, and how that affects many families to this day. Let's never forget, water is life. Thank you.
Next speaker is Terry Rains.
So, to me,
This LA County Board of Supervisors action does not warrant expending city resources, staff, and everyone's time to hold a special meeting on a Friday at 4 p.m. There's no urgency. What's done is done for 2024. The time, place, and manner to oppose this was to speak against it when the LA County Supervisors voted on it at their April 23rd meeting before they presented the proclamation of Jane Fonda on April 30th. Only one written comment was submitted in support, and no one there spoke against it. April is recognized as Earth Month, and April 22nd as Earth Day. At their April 30th meeting, LA County Supervisors presented the proclamation of Fonda, proclaiming April 30th as Jane Fonda Day in LA County. The presentation in Fonda's acceptance speech centered mostly on her climate change activism since it was Earth Month. Did any of you actually watch the meetings? Because I did. One issue Fonda spoke out against during her acceptance speech was the 2024 California oil and gas well regulations referendum, a November ballot measure asking voters to repeal 2022's SB 1137, which places restrictions on oil and gas production facilities and wells within 3,200 feet of residences, education facilities, daycare centers, colleges and universities, community resource centers, healthcare facilities, live-in housing, prisons and detention centers, and any building holding a business open to the public, defined as health protection zones. Fonda is an LA county resident, and her county chose to honor her body of work and activism, especially related to climate change and women's rights. The staff report doesn't have the final document they voted on, with Supervisor Solis added as a second, and the attachment list reads proposed resolution denouncing Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, period. Oops.
How much bullshit she can say
is not
in that amount of
300,000, and Black
3
April
minutes.
is not celebrated, it's only commemorated. None of you have lived here in the U.S. We're living here in the U.S. when the Hanoi Jane incident took place in 72. Two of you weren't even born yet, but I remember it well. Fonda, along with half of this nation, opposed the war and our government's handling of it. Yes, Fonda's visit to North Vietnam and the resulting photo and propaganda was horrific and outraged all of us Americans. But if LA wants to honor their 86-year-old resident for her complete body of work and
They're like
activism,
Karen.
it is
They
their
don't do
prerogative.
anything.
They represent 9.6
They
million
don't.
people,
They
less than
harass you
7%
and anything.
of
They'll
those
get flying monkeys.
Amy, in your
They'll
press
get their
conference
like
with no
grandkids or
and calls to
whatnot,
veterans,
their
you
other
fanned the
friends,
flames as
their
usual without having a real
younger
grasp of
friends.
the issue. You pushed for this special meeting. Vice Mayor Ho was fine with it being on the May 22nd agenda. Bottom line, this is not city business. Your constituents are sick of you wasting precious city resources on issues not within your jurisdiction.
Racist.
And using people's real pain to politically grandstand while ignoring real issues in our city.
Real pain, she's
Vietnam
causing
veterans
me
of
real
America
pain,
will be
and she
sending their
knows
own
she's
letter
causing me real
directly
pain.
to LA County, as will I. No need to rescind, just a request that they change the proclaimed date going forward, and I am confident they will do so. And like other people have said, you know, this council has made some bad decisions and honored some bad people in the past. So I don't think this was purposeful. It was just an oversight out of ignorance, in my opinion.
Take a slap for her.
Next speaker is Lan Kwok Win.
Lan Kwok Win.
I'm just gonna keep playing it, I guess. I was gonna put on the other one, but I'll do that until the next.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council
Next
Member.
video.
My name is Lan Nguyen. I'm a trustee from the Gandhi Unified School District. I'm here as a business owner of this city. First of all, I want to thank the council for taking up this emergency meeting to address the issue. Some may say it's not the city business, but it is the city business because it concerns the lost group of the residents, because the council speak up and advocate for the voice of the resident. That's what you do. And I appreciate your the opportunity to come up here to thank the council for doing just that. And I also want to applaud the effort from the other elected officials across the board in speaking up on this issue, especially Assemblyman Chetan still here. He spearheaded the effort, and so Director Van Tran has contacted different organizations to lend support to our effort. I myself had launched an online petition on the change.org to petition for the rescission of the resolution by the Los Angeles County Board Supervisor. In that petition, I call on the Los Angeles County Board of Education Board of Supervisor to rescind its resolution designated April 30th as the Jane Fonda Day. April 30th marks the fall of Saigon in 1975, which was in violation of the invasion of the Northern Army taking over the Southern Vietnam, in violation of the 1972 Paris Accord. Jane Fonda is the most well-known symbol of betrayal of America for cheering the Northern Vietnamese military for shooting down American war plane and in holding American war prisoner captive in Hanoi. Coupling those two symbols would only activate the pain in the motor of the Vietnamese people in multiple ways and reopen the deepest wound for generations of Vietnamese, especially in light of the atrocity and the human rights violation that the Vietnamese communist regime has committed against its own people.
No, well, my answers are the same.
The fact that
go back home.
We call
go
on
back
the
home.
board supervisor to rescind.
Go work on your homeland.
Most insensitive
Go back home.
resolution is to go a long way to heal the wound in the Vietnamese people. And thank you very much for giving me the chance to express my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next speaker is
Now I'm going to show
Valerie.
you my side. All right, I love you boys, and I'll see you soon.